USAID has been a cornerstone of U.S. foreign policy across parties since it was created in 1961. Now President Trump and an empowered Elon Musk have it on the chopping block. Here's what Donald Trump said Sunday night.
USAID, run by radical lunatics, and we're getting them out.
Senator Shaheen is the leading Democrat on the Senate Foreign Relations Committee and is leading the effort to save the agency. Thank you so much for being here. So explain why you believe Elon Musk and Donald Trump, maybe to a lesser extent here, are wrong. Why does the United States need USAID?
Well, this agency was created because we provide a lot of services and programs that make a difference for Americans around the world. And they make a difference for Americans because they help us here at home by being good stewards abroad. One example, right now the U.S. is hit with a bird flu epidemic. It's causing the prices of eggs to rise. A lot of chickens have been destroyed. Well, we track that bird flu around the world. That program is shut down right now. Nobody's tracking to see whether it's going to get worse overseas and make it worse here at home. Another example is Ebola. There's an Ebola outbreak in Africa. Many of us remember when in the early 2000s when Ebola came to the United States. We don't have a team on the ground now because that has been suspended because of this cut on this program that we're providing to try and ensure that the diseases that are happening overseas, not only can we help with, but we don't bring them back to the United States.
So you've given a couple of examples of worthy programs, and I know that there are a lot of Republicans who you serve with who agree with that. I'm sure you saw the White House put out a list of what they called waste and abuse in USAID. I'm not going to go through it because a lot of it is red herrings, yes. Just the way they describe it. Right. But you did see, and you have heard, some legitimate questions about some of these programs and whether or not United States taxpayers should be spending money on some of them. So do you concede that that is true? And should there be a review regardless of how it's done?
Listen, I'm always in favor of making sure that we are as effective and efficient as possible when it comes to government programs. And a review is appropriate, but to stop everything just immediately without thinking about what the consequences of that are, I think is the problem. Assistance programs employ 100,000 people in the United States. Last year, they put out over $100 billion in contracts that small businesses primarily in the U.S. got from those contracts. So there are huge economic impacts in addition to the other effects of stopping these efforts. And what really gets affected is what happens with our allies and partners. You know, one of the things that makes America strong is the fact that we have such strong allies and partners who help us. If they feel like they can't rely on the United States when we make a commitment to do something, then they're going to look elsewhere. Mm-hmm. And I'll tell you who's ready to fill in that vacuum, and that's China.
And Russia.
And Russia, absolutely. We saw former President Medvedev, who said that they were rejoicing over this decision.
I want to ask about checks and balances. And you know, one of the things that I am hearing over and over again, if I'm hearing it, I know you're hearing it, is where's Congress? You tell me, I don't see any legal basis for the Doge group or people who, Elon Musk or people who work for him, to be doing this the way that they are, given the fact that these programs were approved by Congress and signed into law. Is there anything you can do?
Well, that's what's so disappointing, Dana, because our foreign assistance programs have been something that has had bipartisan support since we really started, as you pointed out, back in the 1960s. We've had congressional support in a bipartisan way for congressional oversight of agencies, for recognizing that it's only Congress that can create agencies and not delete.
Forgive me, but we're running out of time, and I just want to get some clarity on this, because obviously Republicans have said,
Well, that's the problem. The problem is
so
that they've
given that
given in.
reality, and you're in the minority, Democrats are in the minority in the House, is there any mechanism, whether it's constitutional or, well, I guess through the courts or whatever it is?
Well, there are
a
a number of lawsuits that are going forward, and I think those will be important. We will do everything we can to continue to call public attention to this, because we need to see the public express concern. When Elon Musk can go in and get access to my grandmother's information about her tax return and her health concerns and anything that the Treasury Department has, that is a very bad situation for everybody throughout the country. And what they're really trying to do is to keep people who object from saying anything because they're worried about retribution. And that's what's happening with our Republican colleagues.
They're worried about retribution.
They are afraid of Donald Trump and Elon Musk, and they're worried about retribution.
Thank you for coming on. This is definitely the beginning of this conversation. A lot more to discuss. Appreciate it. Nice to see you in person.
Nice to see you too.
Thanks, Senator.
Thanks.